Previously on the Smoky Mountain Small Bore series, I drove to Tennessee. My two-stroke scooter overheated less than 4 miles from the motel on my first ride with a water pump malfunction. And Ryan put a hole in a piston in his 250cc two-stroke swapped Kawasaki Ninja on the second ride of the trip when we attempted to go to the Dragon. After following Ryan back to the motel, I left again on the TMAX to head to the tail of the Dragon, hoping the third ride would go much better than the first two. Once again, I went down Wares Valley Road to take the entire Foothills Parkway. I hated to see Ryan stuck in the room, not wanting to risk his running scooter because he wanted to drag race it the next day, and we were already down 2 running bikes out of 4. I told him he could take the truck out, but he never did, and really, it's just not the same as being on 2 wheels. I came up on some slower traffic and followed them for so long that a trike I passed earlier and another bike caught me. The guy on what appears to be a Kawasaki Vulcan passed the trike and then rode my tail for a bit, getting pretty close to me, swerving in and out, and making multiple failed attempts before finally passing me and then making his way around everyone else. I continued following the group for a few minutes until they all turned off into pull-offs, and then I could ride at my own pace again. It took all of 2 minutes to be behind the Vulcan that was in such a hurry to get around me early. He immediately sped up to try to keep pace with me, I guess because nobody wants to get passed by a scooter. Unfortunately for him, these things called turns are all over the parkway, and it only took a few of them before my taillight was nothing more than a memory from him. Listen, the TMAX is not fast for a motorcycle. I'm not a fast rider, and this was the first time that I was on that stretch of road. So what I'm saying is, if you're trying to keep up and I'm losing you this easily, maybe consider riding a little bit less aggressively. I came to the end of the Foothills Parkway at the intersection with Route 129 and pulled over to change batteries in my GoPros. Luckily, the gentleman on the cruiser stopped near me was trying to figure out which way the Dragon was, since cell service or GPS wasn't working right there, and a road crew worker told him that it was to the left. Otherwise, I would have went right toward Maryville because I have a knack for always choosing the wrong way if it's not spelled out for me. A sign warning of a high crash zone and another indicating curves for the next 11 miles mark the beginning of the Dragon. I was apprehensive at first, having heard so many stories and watching a popular video of a Harley driving basically off of a cliff there. Just in case you don't know, the tail of the Dragon is 318 curves in 11 miles, and there are entire Facebook groups and web pages devoted to crashes on the Dragon. So I rode in with the expectation that every turn was a tight switchback and that I would be overwhelmed with sport bikes trying to get around me the whole time. It didn't take long for me to relax and start enjoying the ride more, and luckily I made it the entire way without anyone coming up behind me, and I never caught anyone else until the very end. So I got to experience the Dragon at my pace with no pressure on a beautiful day. You'll see photographers set up on pull-offs capturing everything that passes. If you know the time that you went through, you can go on their sites later and find your pictures. Eventually, I made my way to the North Carolina line and the end of the Dragon, where you'll find the Deals Gap Motorcycle Resort on one side and the Tail of the Dragon and Killboy shop on the other, so you can fuel up, eat a meal, shop merchandise, and even get a room right there. I picked up a couple of 2023 Dragon stickers for Ryan, just in case he couldn't make it up there later, and headed back. I rode up on a group of traffic led by a Toyota Prius, and I don't think we ever touched the speed limit the rest of the way out. I made my way down half of the Foothills Parkway and then took the shorter route back to the motel to finally complete the first ride without a major failure on the entire trip. I've got to say, the Dragon lived up to its reputation for me. I know there are lots of other twisty roads to explore all around the area, but I've never seen anything quite like it. I enjoyed the Foothills Parkway and its long winding curves as much as any road that I was on. But the Dragon is essentially non-stop turns and probably the tightest turns that I had ever experienced. I don't know that it's a road for everyone because you absolutely must stay focused and ride at your own pace or your day may not end well. And even if you do everything right, there are plenty of crash photos and videos from people crossing the center line. However, if you love to ride and you're up for a challenge, it's pretty damn fun. A little later, I figured I might as well open up the electric water pump that failed on my first ride in Tennessee. I picked up a gallon of water and cut it in half so the bottom could be used as a drain pan and the top as a funnel, and then drained the coolant, which had a whole lot of fine crud in it. Three screws later, the front of the pump was off and I could remove the impeller, which was coated in the same nasty stuff. My guess is that the junk was actually from wear within the pump. I cleaned the impeller and the inside of the pump and rinsed everything before putting the pump back together. I turned the pump on and it was working again, but I think I was so excited that I may actually be able to drag race the next day that I never filmed it. I didn't do any test rides or anything because I wasn't sure how long the pump was going to hold up, so I thought it was best just to save whatever it had left in it for the track. The weather was pretty close to perfect, so after sunset, I wandered around in front of the motel and rally site on the footpaths and did a lousy job of filming a few of the bikes. I'm an internal combustion enthusiast, so if I can hear engines revving around me, I'm happy. I'm going to wrap this episode up here at the end of Wednesday, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on so you won't miss drag racing and everything else still to come from my time at the Small Bore Rally. If you've enjoyed this video, a like would be appreciated, and please leave me a comment. Thank you for watching.